Hi brethren, it's been a while. I'm checking in to let people know I am blessed and alive. I continue to spend time with the Lord and pray. My favorite place in heaven is by God's side. I wanted to try something special. With AI advancing so rapidly, I decided to use it as a tool to give you an idea of what heaven has been like for me. I expressed a lot of what God and heaven are like in my Angel and God View playlist, but having an illustration is a different story. As mentioned in my Angel View videos, I meet God on the Forever Bridge, although sometimes I meet him in a forest near a meadow. My soul often rests on the grass until the Lord calls for me. I always answer his calls, and he forever calls me precious. Fun fact, lately, Jesus has been calling me a new name. He calls me Dove. How cute is that? Later in this video, you'll hear some words the Lord shared with me 6 years ago. It's a ballad of love that carries me through tough times. Then you will hear a revelation God revealed to me. Enjoy.
I have risen, beloved.
Darling, welcome to our place, our sanctuary. I will love you with tenderness and gentleness forever, and provide you protection for your soul and body. You are a beautiful flower set in a forest where only you and I dwell to know and love each other.
When Adam and Eve were cast out of the Garden of Eden, they could no longer return. They had to work the ground, build their own home, and plant a new garden with their own hands, and so they did. But God did not destroy Eden. The Lord revealed to me that he allowed Eden to remain, not as a punishment, but as a reminder. A reminder that, even in humanity's fall, he would not abandon us. He would not strip the world of his perfect goodness. Though Adam and Eve were separated from God's presence, his grace lingered, close enough to see. Their descendants knew where Eden was. They could not pass through its gates, but they understood that it had once been theirs, and in some divine way still was. Then the Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. And the Lord God said, "Behold, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil, and now he might reach out with his hand and take fruit. Also from the tree of life, and eat and live forever." Therefore the Lord God sent him out of the Garden of Eden to cultivate the ground from which he was taken. So he drove the man out. And at the east of the Garden of Eden, he stationed the cherubim and the flaming sword, which turned every direction to guard the way to the tree of life. Genesis 3:21-24. Eden was guarded, not erased. The tree of life remained, but it was protected by a flaming sword and a heavenly being. In Eden, man and God once dwelled together. That made it sacred to the Lord, and he left it as a symbol of what was and what could be again. We know the continents were once joined in a great landmass known as Pangaea. We also know of the flood in Noah's time, a great reshaping of the world. Through these natural changes, Eden eventually faded from view, not by God's wrath, but by his design. It became hidden, its memory woven into the earth's story. In the generations after Eden, people lived knowing paradise had been lost, but also that it once stood nearby. Eden became a quiet witness to our exile, and more importantly, to God's nearness. He did not withdraw himself from creation. Instead, he left a sign that he still longed to dwell with us again. Even in judgment, there was mercy. Eden's lingering presence reminded humanity that God had not turned his face away. He would make a way back to himself. The promise of redemption was already being written. One day, his son would come to restore what was broken. I've been thinking deeply about all this, not just Eden, but what it means for us now. In a world so marked by injustice, by racism, by the grotesque things we too often learn to ignore, I find myself struggling to understand where I belong. I have not mastered this life or its complexities. Like Adam and Eve outside the garden, I am still learning to build something beautiful out of what is broken. But God, in his grace, has been showing me something. Eden may be out of reach, but he is not. The tree of life, I believe, was more than a source of immortality. It offered a choice, to remain forever in communion with God, or to live a mortal life shaped by faith, hope, and the promise of something greater. That promise remains. Through Christ, the way back to peace with God has been opened again. So I hold on to that. Even when I feel distant or lost, I remember Eden was never destroyed. It was simply hidden, waiting for us to remember where we came from and where we are meant to return,